Hey friends, my name's Stevie Taylor. Welcome to the Gig Life Podcast. My guest today is Bek Jensen. Bek is a singer-songwriter, guitar player, music teacher, studio owner, choir master and doula. She's recorded and toured with Cold Chisel, Jimmy Barnes, Mahalia Barnes, Tina Harrod, Sleepy Jackson, Paul McDermott and many, many more. And with the release of her new EP, Magic and Art, we sat down in her studio and we talked her career, her new EP and the elements that have shaped her into the artist she is today. So please enjoy. Cheers. I think we're rolling. Bek Jensen.
G'day.
How you going?
Good.
Good. Welcome to the Gig Life Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So you're at the moment in the process of planning your EP launch.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like I've called it a showcase, but it's a launch, but it's a showcase.
Yep.
You know, it's a soft launch, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you say showcase, have you invited certain industry types to come in and?
Yeah. I mean, I've invited all of the people that I can think of. Really.
Yeah,
I mean, anyone and everyone, because Magic and Art is for Everyone, which is the title of the EP.
Yeah, I've been listening to it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, thank you.
It's really good. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And right, before we get to the sort of the making of the EP, let's roll right back.
Oh yeah.
Were you born in Sydney?
I was
Yep.
born in Paddington.
Paddington, yep.
At the Royal Women's Hospital.
Okay, cool. And at what sort of age did you find yourself into music? Because your mother's...
Both my parents are musicians.
Okay, your father too.
So
yep.
my parents were young musicians in the eastern suburbs.
Yep.
And my dad's had been playing guitar, you know, probably from the age of about 11 or 10. And Mum started singing probably around 15, 16. She really made that decision that that's what she wanted to do.
Yep.
I don't know exactly when they met, but it was not long after that. So they must have been around 19 or so. Mum was probably around... Oh, no, she probably would have been about 17 or 18 when she met Dad.
Yeah. And
they did a contract in Tokyo.
Yep.
And was it Tokyo? Might have Seoul. I don't know. Can't remember.
Yeah, all good.
I wasn't there. I wasn't even conceived.
Not even a twinkle.
Yeah. But the twinkle sort of happened just before I was conceived. They got some parts in the original Jesus Christ Superstar production in Sydney. And then it was some point, you know, Mum was pregnant with me, and she did the whole show pregnant with me. So I'm a Jesus Christ Superstar child.
Yes.
And there are a few of us.
That's cool.
Yeah, there are a few of us. There was actually quite a few women in the show who were pregnant, and we're all born within 6 weeks of each other.
Right.
And we're all really good friends, and
how cool is that?
So, you know, and then both my parents, they used to live with musicians in Edgecliff, and they decided to live on their own with me, and then sadly the relationship between them ended, and Mum was continued to work as a singer, as a professional singer, and Dad also working as a professional bass player and guitarist. He used to work a lot with Jackie Orszaczky, and and Judy Stone and Little Patty, and so Dad did a lot of MD stuff, sort of in the country scene, country jazz, you know, blues. Mum was more blues and soul and R&B.
Yep.
And Mum was also touring with all of the Australian rock bands and doing a lot of sessions. She, you know, if you remember any of the songs or the ads on the TV in the 80s, pretty sure that was my mum singing every one of them.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah. So she worked her butt off.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you asked me what my introduction to the stage was. I was pretty much born on the stage.
Yeah.
So, it's a little, you know, my story's unique in that way. I think there are a lot of kids, women, men out there who are children of musicians and stuff.
Yep.
And it's just it's a unique. They're always a unique story, you know.
Yeah.
Because depending on the type of music, I mean, you know, I watch a lot of great musicians now and seeing them raise their kids, and it's really, really charming.
It's a different scene too, eh? It's big time.
It's a different environment for sure.
Yeah. And were you do you remember singing all your life?
I do.
Right back. Yep.
I do.
Yep.
You know, my dad was always playing guitar. Mum was always singing.
Yep.
I just loved it. Like, a lot of Mum and Dad's friends were musicians.
Yep.
So hanging out in barbecues, it was all the heavyweights.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And all the, you know, jamming and hanging out.
It's just all normal, eh?
Yeah, it was very normal. So that was really my first stage sort of thing. I mean, Mum always used to invite me up on stage, and or I was on the side of the stage just watching these rock gods like In Excess. I have huge memories of In Excess being on the side of the stage, just looking down at them, going, "Oh my god!"
Did your mum sing with In Excess?
She was singing with Noiseworks.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, at the time. But I remember a concert in '88 and watching. I think I was about 13, 14. No, I would have been younger than that. Yeah, around about 11, 10, whatever. And it's just, it's just so amazing. It was just so amazing and incredible to see that energy all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I really got high off it.
Yeah,
and
it's cool.
And I guess, you know, my first stage experiences of my own were putting myself out there, usually at school.
Yeah.
I was really into dancing, and so one of my first performances, now that I think about it, and I've shed a few of those layers in my mind, getting closer to the answer of your question, was at a talent quest at school, and I asked my dad to come and play guitar for me so I could sing a Bonnie Raitt song.
Awesome.
No one had heard of Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it was She's Nobody's Girl.
Yeah.
It was just an absolutely beautiful song. I loved singing it. I used to sit in my bedroom all the time singing it and alone.
Yeah.
And I went, I think it was in like year 5, and I was like, I want to enter the competition. I didn't win.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the hard things about my life, is that people didn't get me. And when I say hard about my life, I mean just, the trials and tribulations of being a young kid.
Yeah.
We all have our little things.
Yeah.
So I guess, I grew up in the Northern Beaches, and I don't know, there were a lot of artistic people, but my feelings were that nobody got me. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but that's what was going on for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first performance on the stage.
Yep.
I reckon.
Yep. Do you remember the reaction?
Oh,
apart from people going, what the fuck's this song?
I cried at the end of it.
You cried?
I cried.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just amazing, like, having that performance with my dad, having him there. I could get a little bit emotional just thinking about it, actually.
Knock yourself out.
Just that's something that happens to a little personal insight is actually something that happens to me a lot over time. Sometimes music can really affect me where I get emotional, and I get like, I'll have an outburst of tears, or usually, like, whether it be a happy tears or a sad tears, it's just something that bubbles up inside me, and
it's the beauty of magic, beauty of music.
Yeah, that's right.
It gets people in different ways.
Yeah, so of course it was a great reaction. I mean, I was a singer's daughter, so my sound was a mature sound, and it wasn't like, the pop shit that kids were listening to. I was singing a fucking Bonnie Raitt. I want to say Sold on Funk, SOUL, but I have a feeling that was my mum's band.
Okay.
So it was like something like that. It was a soul band. It was a 14-piece band.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it was all these older guys. So I was 14, and one guitarist was about 23, another guitarist was about 21. They were all early 20s, and they had a 14-year-old singer. And we had a 3-piece horn section. We had 2 guitarists, keyboard, like 1, 2 guitarists, bass player, drummer, 1, 2, 3, 3 horns. I think we had 2 backing vocalists. So there was like 10-piece band.
Yep.
And so I was a baby. And
sorry, were you a backing singer, or were you?
I was the
lead singer. Yeah, cool, awesome, yeah.
And we did like Brothers Johnson.
Yeah,
and,
awesome.
Isley Brothers, and Cut the Cake, and just all those sort of funk stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were getting all these gigs, and a lot of there were a lot of parties, and then I remember we got the Monaval Hotel, and the Monaval Hotel wouldn't let me in. So it was a really interesting experience, because it was like, well, I'm the lead singer of the band tonight, so what do you want to do? And they're like, well, you can go out into the band room, and you have to stay there until we come and get you for the stage, and you can go on straight to the stage, and then you have to leave. Yep. And that was a really weird, wacky night for me, because I'd been brought up in nightclubs. Yeah. So it was sort of like a real slap in the face in a way, but it was cool. I mean, I didn't, make a big hoo-ha about it. I had quite a few, family and friends come and everything, so that was really cool. Yep. Mm.
And when did you start writing your own music? Was this early on?
Yeah, I probably, I think I wrote my first song, it wasn't really until I met Michael, my partner, so I would have been around about 16 or 17. Okay. Sorry, I met him when I was 17, so I don't think I'd really written a song before then, other than doodling with my friends, making up stupid songs to other songs, I never you know, yeah, that was that.
Yeah, and you play guitar.
Yes.
And how early on did you start playing guitar?
I taught myself how to play guitar when I was about 13. I started probably.
Yep.
And I had been learning. My first instrument was a sax, and my dad really wanted me to play the saxophone, and I didn't kind of get it, but I get it now, you know, and that was that I learned how to read music, and it learned a lot about breathing as well, actually, and so I'm grateful that I was pushed into that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I went into high school, that's when I went, nah, I want to sing. So, kind of a bit disappointed now as an adult. I feel like I want to do it again. Yeah. Because it's kind of a sexy instrument.
Why not?
But so yeah, I gave that up, but then was handed a guitar and a Beatles book, the 100. I think it was like the complete Beatles.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah. And Dad handed it to me. And went, there you go, learn guitar.
Yeah. And
I went, what? You're not going to show me? He's like, I'll be there. Can you call anytime you need?
Awesome.
But off you go. And so I learned a lot of those songs. Yeah. And, you know, they had those the tablature at the top.
Yeah,
so,
with the dots in them.
Yeah, so I would just, learn chords that way. And then I did my first gig when I was 14. It was my first solo gig.
Yep.
It was this little cafe in my hometown, and they had an open mic night, and I got up and I sang an Aretha Franklin tune. Yeah. I think it was... It was like something simple. It might have been Maybe I'm a Fool or something. I was really, really obsessed with her first album, like her first recording.
Her early stuff. It's funny. It's not since she's passed away that some of this early stuff has started to get played on the radio.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's gone, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Wow. I only sort of knew the more commercial sort of stuff, you know.
Oh, okay.
Wow, yeah, I know what you're saying. That early stuff.
Yeah, it's an album called Aretha Gospel, and I was really blown away by it because the recording is of her as a 14-year-old. So. You sort of for a young girl around 13, 14, I was like really blown away. I learned a lot about passion and spirit and soul and how to explore the depths of my voice with, you know, the majority of people who listen to Aretha, you know. You listen to Aretha and you get connected to the spirit, and that's what was happening. And for someone who wants to be a singer, like I knew that I wanted to be a singer from a very, very young age. So, you know, and I was listening to Aretha from a young age. Like it wasn't like that album was the first one I'd been exposed to, but it was given to me at the time of the age that I was. And that's when I went, oh. Yeah, wow. Right.
Some depth in this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and yeah, just it was gospel music too, and that, you know, I'm not a religious person, so but I'm a soul singer. Yeah. And so you have to be connected to the spirit in some way or another to be a soul singer. Sure. In my opinion. You don't have to be religious. Yep. But you got to be connected. You got to be connected to your humanity. I understand. Or the vastness of the universe, whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Like, whatever you believe in.
Solo career. When did you sort of realise I can probably go out and start making some money doing this? And
As a solo artist?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Maybe not just a solo artist, but as, as a solo singer with a guitar, can go out and play here and, shit, I can make money doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you have that?
I had
that moment?
I did.
Epiphany, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was sort of, it was like, it wasn't an epiphany, it was an awakening. It was a rekindling. It was a spark of passion that was a long time coming, I think. Like, so the way that my sort of story goes with the connection to my guitar is that at the end of my teenage years, I started to put the guitar down. Some things happened where I've had a love-hate relationship with the guitar. It's I don't know if I want to go into it deeply,
sure.
But I have been thinking a lot about this lately, actually. So there's a love-hate relationship, and I don't know whether that's connected to the fact that my dad's a guitarist. I love my dad. I don't have a love-hate relationship with my dad, but I do with the guitar. Anyway, I used to write songs. Like, when I started writing, I would noodle. I would come up with little riffs and give them to a guitarist and say, can we make something of this? Can we, I've got this thing, can this be a start of a song or something? And then it would turn into something. But then I put it down and just stopped doing that. And then I had made a record and with an amazing guitarist, Marty Haley, and he's a really incredible guitarist.
He's a surf style sort of guitarist, isn't he, on the Central Coast? Am I thinking?
No.
Sorry, I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, he was a jazz guitarist, and he produced Jimmy Little. He was in L'Hotel. He was in Raw Sugar. He was in musical theatre, like Smoke and Mirrors. Anyway, he and I had a really fantastic relationship, and anyway, we did this record, and a couple of the songs on that record, I had written half of them on the guitar, and then when we released that record, I said to him, "Look, I think I want to play guitar," and I started with one song. And it took a long time for me to feel comfortable with that one song. But, everybody was really supportive, and I big ups and kudos and love to my fellow musicians who have been along the path with me, because they've all been really supportive and allowing me to do things in my own time. And then when that band was kind of disjointing and Marty had said that he wanted to follow other ambitions, I was sitting there thinking, I think I really want to learn how to play guitar. Like, I want to do gigs.
Yep.
And I just started to fiddle, learning some covers just at home. Didn't do any sets or anything. I was just sort of started to build my repertoire a little bit. And then I have Andrew Martinez to thank for this, because he was calling around finding musicians for this contract in Japan that he was looking after, and he'd offered it to Mike, but Michael came to me and said, "Babe, this is the perfect opportunity to achieve that goal." I was also in the process of writing an album, so I just seized that opportunity and took myself to Japan. And so that's where, to the answer to your question, that's where I started to shape myself as an artist who could go out and play gigs and play. And I was lucky enough to be there with Benel Martinez, only for a short time. That was the first time I'd met him. But, you know, he had a really interesting style and he showed me some things. And so, you know, being in Japan, it's a really interesting place and not a lot of people speak English. So I was there. It's a lonesome experience.
Yeah, right.
So I spent a lot of time playing and writing and playing and writing. So and then I came back and became a goer. I just booked these gigs. Just
awesome.
booked them and next thing you know, fucking 300 songs. And
yeah, that's great. That's really cool.
And I'm still, my relationship is growing with the guitar.
Yep.
And my love for the guitar is definitely growing, and I hear things differently now, and I'm working harder at technique, which was never really a thing for me. I never thought about technique. I just did it.
You just did it, yeah.
And that's kind of like what I would do. I suppose that comes from my experience as a singer, because I was just given a gift, and that's, you know, oh, you've got a voice, great, use it, you know, off we go. So that's how I've learned, and again, just so grateful for the musicians I've had around me who have been supportive and patient.
Yep.
More than anything, I'm grateful for their patience, because I know I've sucked sometimes, but you know, we all have our individual ways of relationships with music, I think, and yeah, I think that your relationship with music is always evolving, and it's always changing, and we're all evolving as musicians as well.
It's the beauty of it, eh?
Yeah. And the ones who don't, I'll stop playing with them.
Fair enough. You stay there, man. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, I guess
I'm off. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that, and I get that.
Yeah,
I understand now why people would not keep playing with you, or not. You know, some people come into your life and you make great music together, and then it stops. And they move on, or
like any
for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's really cool. Now, a few years ago, you were on The Voice.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You said that like, oh, was I?
Yeah.
Was I?
That thing.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about that?
I can talk about that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I remember watching the show when you were on it, and I thought you were fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I went, oh wow, and then, you know, no one hit the buzzer, didn't turn around. Then your mum came out straight after.
Yeah.
And I just remember, because obviously they introduced her as your mum,
yes.
And the whole time I was like, look at your mum's face.
Oh,
She's fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
how did that make you feel?
I was with you. I couldn't believe they didn't hit the buzzer after the shit I'd just seen, you know? Yeah. So I was like, fuck, this is crap.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that was
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So
may I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
You thought this is crap when you saw Mum walk out?
No.
After they didn't press for her?
They didn't press for you.
Yeah.
I thought, oh fuck.
Oh, okay.
And then your mum came out.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, your mum's
pissed.
She's fucking pissed off. You know, this is cool. You know, like she's, you know.
Makes good television.
Yeah.
Television.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that experience and.
Well, ask me the questions and I'll answer them as best I can.
When you walked off that stage, how did you feel?
After my performance?
Yeah.
I felt really good.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
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 I walked off that stage with pride.
Awesome.
I walked off the stage. Do you know what? It just was like a relief.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yep. So how long? Can I ask what time of day that was? So what time would you have had to have been there? Was it late in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked us to be there at 7 a.m.
Yep.
I don't think I walked on the stage until about 6 p.m.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
I pulled it out.
Yes.
pull the strings, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, the challenge in that situation is that, like, to keep you cool.
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
Yep.
So my experience of walking off the stage was, I knew that I'd done really well. I knew that I'd sang that song as best as I could.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, okay, that's over.
That's it. Cool.
And then I went, shit, Mum.
Yeah. Yep.
So I had no idea. I actually wanted to be really close to her, was what I wanted. I had no idea. I guess, you know, I've got kids and a husband, so I was like, wanted to be with them, but I also wanted to know if Mum was okay and see what was going on there. So yeah.
It was emotional for me, I thought.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought.
Why was it emotional for
just
you?
seeing the mother and daughter thing and how
Oh,
pissed your
yeah.
mum was, and because I thought that you should have got the buzzer, so I'm like, oh man, that's, and then Mum comes out and it's like, oh come on,
yeah,
you know, but no, it was
my mother has a lot of pride, and and she has always been so supportive of me, and I think that more than anything she, you know, really wanted to see me succeed.
Sure.
And she also has her own story, and you know, the drive and desire. Like, she's great on TV, without a doubt. She's an awesome presence on television, so she enjoys it too. So that's, I think, what drove her to be on the show. I don't think she actually wanted to be on the show to start with. Yep. But there was a lot of pressure from the production team. They wanted her to be on the show. So they kind of, you know, really pushed her in the way that TV producers do, you know. So, look, it was emotional for the people who watch, of course, because, you know, everybody loves their mum.
Yeah.
and well, most people like their mum.
Yep.
And not many people understand the relationship between singing mother and daughter. You know, there's a few of us out there, and it's a unique, and also any parent really who's a performer and in the limelight, like, it's just a unique thing, and so you know, they achieved what they wanted.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well said. They got what they wanted.
They got what they wanted. Yeah. Because
they got me sitting there going,
because you were emotional.
Yes.
So
they got me watching the next week.
That's right.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
That's right.
Never thought of it like that.
Oh.
It's cool hearing that side, hearing your side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you know, I feel pretty good about it, in that I've come to a good place. It was hard work, but lessons learned. So when you put yourself into, if I could say anything about that experience, the thing that I've learned from it is that competition is not for me. I don't do what I do to compare myself to others.
Yep.
I do it for myself, and I do it for the love of music, and the love of bringing. I look. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah,
really. I mean, my life has changed a lot since that experience.
Yep.
So, you know, it was entertaining. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You know?
That's cool. Yeah. That door's closed. We move on.
It really has.
Cool. Now, you teach as well.
I do.
Yes. Now, is this Soulful Mamas? Have I got that right? I read something. you've got on your Facebook page.
Yes.
Soulful Mamas.
Soulful Mamas is a doula page. So I'm also a doula, a childbirth doula.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was way off the mark there.
That's all right. Yeah.
Sorry for
That's
sorry
all
about that.
It's all tied into who I am. So it's all
awesome.
good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm a teacher, yes.
Yeah.
And I just go under my name, Rebecca or
Right.
Bek Jensen, and I'm a choir master.
Choir master, yeah.
Essentially that's the biggest sort of thing for me at the moment as a teacher.
Yep.
I have a lot of, not a lot, but I have enough students.
Yep.
Private students.
Yep.
And I teach the welcome choir, and now we're doing twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach people how to I try to teach them to sing in tune and in harmony. So
right.
Yeah.
That's good. And so how does that, you have your individual students?
Yes.
And then what do you bring them together for a performance, a choir performance?
No.
Ah, right.
Welcome choir is a different thing.
Right.
So welcome choir is a public choir that's held it started as once a week.
Yep.
Then it moved to once a month.
Yep.
And now we're doing twice a month. So we have we're growing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so anybody can come.
Mm-hmm.
No one has to sign for anything. No one has to join.
Okay.
You just turn up on the night.
Yep.
And our numbers are reaching roughly around 300 at Newtown.
Ooh.
So we now have another one that we've just started out at Casula Powerhouse Museum.
Yep.
And we're reaching for the 1,000 number.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I teach the song. So
the song, right? Gotcha.
I teach a song, and then it's put together and taught, and then at the end they sing it 3 times, 4 times, and then that's it.
Gotcha.
So it's like mass singing.
Mass singing, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it is teaching, so
It's
that's
teaching, yeah.
that's what I do, and it's the types of individual private students that come my way are interesting, and what did you want to know about the teaching stuff? Like, is there anything in particular? Or?
No. We're just touching on it like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your new EP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how long has it been in the making?
I started in April this year, so 2018.
Yep.
Did the pre-production then, and then we were in the studio in May, and it's now October and it's just come out.
Wow. Because it sounds like something that's been going for a long time, but you pulled it together. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
really
look,
good.
some of the songs, they weren't written in a day.
Yeah, sure.
But they are songs that I've been sitting on for a little while, and some of them are actually really new too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no pressure. I put no pressure. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I didn't put pressure on myself to, I've got to put an album out now, and mind you, that did happen this year.
Right.
But only because I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Yeah. And I just knew that it would happen when the time was right. I didn't want to kind of, I don't know, I just felt really differently, and I wanted to readjust the sound to be true to myself.
To your roots and that kind of thing.
True to myself.
Yourself,
I mean, I have been like I'm saying that this is roots music. It's roots soul music, because the closer I am to who I am, that is who I am.
Yeah, I understand.
I was raised on good music.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But in the soul, blues, R&B of the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
You know, R&B 90s, that's not my jam.
Yep.
But
yep.
R&B of the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
Love it.
That's really
love
cool.
it.
And
So,
who do you have play on your album? I have no idea who's...
oh, okay. So I have Mitch Rogers on drums on the majority of the tracks. And he is a young cat who's been touring with Reese Maston quite a bit lately.
Yep.
And he's done a couple of gigs with his brother, who is Ben Rogers, who is married to Mahalia Barnes.
Oh, okay.
So he's in the family.
Okay, yeah.
And Joel Burton's on bass.
Bass, yeah.
Pardon me.
The first song, that opening run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Yeah.
So, Joel Burton's on bass.
Yep.
Look, he's just such an incredible player. I've always loved Joel's playing. Ever since I heard him, I was just like, whoa.
He's right on the money.
Who's that dude?
Because obviously when I listen to music, first thing I go for is the rhythm section.
Okay.
I'm just drawn there.
Great. Excellent.
And they're bang on.
Yeah.
They're spot on. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
good.
we recorded all of the rhythm and guitar live. None of it's to click.
Yeah, that's great.
The whole album.
Both playing at the same time?
All of us. The three of
fantastic.
us. Yeah.
That's great.
So I've played
It's on.
guitar as well. So I'm on all the guitars.
Yeah.
And then, well, the first track's a mighty track, obviously.
Yep.
When you hear it, you go, oh!
Yep. Look out.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of a dream come true, really. I was just, wake up one day and go, oh, what can I put on today?
Yeah. Ladies, are you ready?
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah.
So myself on guitar, Joel Burton, Mitch Rogers, Clayton Doley on organ and a Hammond organ and Wurlitzer.
Yep.
On 3 tracks he played on. And then Michael Wheatley on Fender Rhodes. He also played whirly, also played a bit of synth. The horn section on that first track is Dave Weir and Daniel Moore. And the acoustic guitar is actually played by Paul Mason because I love him.
Yeah.
And I was like, come over.
Yeah.
Put something on it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And then the very last, I actually sang all the BVs on it, and then at the last minute went, nah, I need the girls. And I called them up and got them in. So just for that track, and they just like laid a bit of bed on Good Morning My Lover. So that's Natasha Stewart, Juanita Tippins and Jade McRae. Then the rest is all me, and then the last track, which is She's Free, is...
That's a monster track.
Oh, thank you.
Goosebumps when I listen to that. I was listening to it on the way over. Yeah, that's awesome. Who's playing slide guitar?
So I was just about to say, there's Franco Raggett.
Okay.
Yeah, Franco Raggett. And the drums are played by Ivan Jordan and my son, Angel Wheatley.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, so 2 drums on that.
Great.
And which is
big sound
such
too.
a
Nice
great
big sounding drums.
sound.
Yeah.
I love it. I love having the 2 drums. And double bass is Sarah Homay. She's a very young girl who's up and coming. So yeah, that's that.
It's awesome.
That's
Well done. Congratulations. You should be proud.
I am very proud. Thank you.
Really dig it, and I hope everyone else does.
So, yeah. Look, it's been nothing but love.
Yeah,
you know?
awesome.
And I don't know. I had a really good time making it.
Yeah.
I went through some moments of struggle, like in that one of the tracks I would, come in and sing it and then sit with it for a couple of days and then go, I need to redo it.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like that. I tend to, I'm a perfectionist.
Yep.
But I also like to leave things as well. I'm getting better at knowing when it's time to let go and when it's time to keep.
Yep.
So, my biggest challenge I found was the guitar stuff, but at the same
comes back to that relationship with the guitar.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And but also this album was all about that. This album is all about the guitar and me and my relationship with it and exploring myself as an artist like that. Yeah. And, I know I'm not the most perfect guitarist. No, I'm not the most perfect singer, for fuck's sake, but...
Oh, you do all right. Pretty good. Yeah, no, awesome.
But I'm... This is how I do it. This is how I roll. I learn from doing it, and I give it as art. Yep. And that's why the album is called Magic and Art, because I believe in the powers that create feelings and emotions in people. Sometimes I look at music like magic. Mm-hmm. You can, like you say, you get goosebumps from that track.
Yeah.
I have no idea what gives you goosebumps in that track, but it could be.
Yeah, it's sometimes.
It's a feeling.
I don't know
it's
what
an
it
emotion.
is. Yeah,
it's the words.
It's usually a sound for me. It's a group of sounds that come together to just.
Makes you do something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It's different for everybody,
Yeah, it is, and I was so grateful. I had the most beautiful phone call from someone unexpected this morning, and he was like, I'm just listening to your record so much, I'm up to like the 10th time and I'm learning the lyrics now. And he's like, you've done such great work, and I was like, what's your favourite song? And it's the song that I thought that people wouldn't like, so there was, one of the tracks, I'm not going to say which it is, but one of them is one that it's so personal to me that I don't know if people are going to hear what's in it.
Yep.
But it's also the thing that people actually really enjoy.
Yep.
So I just have to go with that flow. And detach. It's constantly, I'm finding that, it's really interesting to, you can all have a laugh at this, but I released this in the moon cycle. So the full moon was when so sorry.
You're right.
So sorry.
It's all good.
Damn those alarms. The full moon was when I told people about the launch. Yeah. The new moon was when I released it. That's cool. And then the full moon will be when it launches again.
Brilliant.
So it's...
No one's going to laugh. Who's going to laugh at that? If you laugh at that,
you're
an idiot.
But it's a really powerful thing to me, and I am very connected to the universe and the stars, and I believe in the pull, and I also believe in magic. So whether I could talk about that forever, but keep going into the different things that I know about all that stuff. But I'm a hippie child, my love. Cool. So I was raised with I had a nanny, and
she... Is this because Mum was out performing?
Yeah. Yeah. So this nanny used to come on the road with us sometimes.
Oh, right.
And look after me while Mum was performing.
Yeah.
And she is a spiritual healer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was raised on, the spiritual world and connecting to the spiritual world, including God, including Buddha, including, Ganesha and the fairies and the, elves and dolphins and angels. So it's that spiritual realm is in the foundation of who I am. Crystal healing, homeopathics, Chinese medicine, like it's vast, it's very broad, and I'm literally skimming the surface, if that right now, like, I'm not talking deeply about it, I'm just sort of saying that that's a part of who I am. So, and what I've found too is that a lot of magic and art that comes through in my content, things I write about and the things that that were coming through in this particular record anyway. So, my last EP, which was released in 2014, was named Lucky. And that was because I felt lucky, So it's like kind of magic and art is like like the next level, Gotcha, I feel like I've grown so much. I've actually explored so much. And you actually mentioned before about the, soulful mamas. And I mentioned that I'm a doula, and some people will go, what the hell is a doula? Never heard of that word. It's a Greek word for woman's assistant. And I studied to be a childbirth doula in 2016. So I released the EP. Things didn't sort of go that great in that
With Lachy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was a shock, I think. I feel like it was a shock to people. They didn't know how to receive the music. And maybe I also didn't know how to get it out there in that, I'm an independent artist. I don't seek help from record labels or anything like that. So it wasn't in my radar at the time. And I pushed avenues with it, but I didn't push it as hard as I could, probably because that the people weren't receiving it as I thought they would. I didn't get it.
So you were sort of waiting to see how it went before you pushed it, or
no.
You just were kind of seeing how it was going and just
visualize, just seeing the way people were reacting to it.
Yep.
And
then you just
I just kind
let
of
it go.
That's
Yep.
that. I still perform the songs.
Okay,
Don't get me
cool.
wrong. Like
Cool.
I love half the songs on them, and there's ones that really stick with me, but it just didn't. It's different, but for me, exploring the depths of my songwriting and the things that Tim and I, because Tim Hall produced it as well, and he and I had been writing together for a while. We wrote a lot of songs, and eventually I went, I want to release some of these, and so it wasn't entirely me, it was me and him.
Yep.
And it has Tim's influence throughout it. So it was just like a duo in a sense,
gotcha.
rather than just Bek Jensen,
solo.
even though I said this is Bek Jensen.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's because of that reason or what, but anyway, I've kind of lost my train of thought. back to, Lachy and... Oh, no, I'm just talking about, like, I did feel really lucky at the time.
Yep.
And I was grateful, and, I really enjoyed making that record.
Cool.
I really enjoyed writing those songs. I love Timmy. I love the people who are on that record. Yep. It's just different. Mm-hmm. And with this album, I produced Magic and Art. So that is the difference there, is where I just harnessed my abilities and the sounds in my head.
Yeah, cool.
And really went, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But also allowing the magicians on the record.
Yeah, magicians, yeah, yes.
The magicians that came and played, musicians that came and played on the record, they brought their talents, and there's a really beautiful thing that happens when you just allow people to be themselves, I think. And I put a lot of trust in people, and trust in myself too. Like, there was a real shift in who I am with this record. And I have to say that being a doula and changing the way that, I've brought quite a few babies into this world. Mm-hmm. But my role is not to bring them in. I usher them in. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that holds the door.
Yep.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hold their hand. I hold the ladies' hands. I give them guidance and the baby guidance to come into the world and be birthed as a human mm-hmm. being, and as a mother, mm-hmm. and a papa or whoever else is in that relationship. Mm-hmm. So, that I've changed. I'm a completely different person than I ever was before I became a doula. Yep. And I always knew that I would be a doula. Mm. I had a doula for my children when I birthed, and it just, I knew, I just went, oh, that's something I want to do. Mm-hmm. That's amazing, because the it's just, every woman needs to have one. Mm. It's just, any person who's giving birth needs to have someone, he needs to have someone with knowledge, mm-hmm. Like, this is the thing that, I studied what happens to people when they birth things. Mm-hmm. Birth babies, sorry. But I actually, through the process of this EP and the release, I had to doula myself, and I had to really look at my behaviours, change things that I was doing, ask myself really true, strong questions about who I am, mm-hmm. and is it true? And is because the closer you are to being yourself, the more people are going to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, do you have plans to tour the EP?
I do, actually. Awesome. Yeah. It's a hard thing. I'm finding to find the time for everything. Yeah. As I have to work still. Yeah. And I have to still, get all the promotions done, and I am funding it myself. I haven't asked for any money from anyone for this project, mm-hmm. and it's a little bit challenging, but that's okay. I'm just going you know, trusting in the universe and allowing things to come at the right time. And the plan is to get on the road for sure, because my 2 children are not children anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, I've come in. This is the other thing that's so unreal about my life right now, and that I'm free. There's nothing holding me back. You know, and when I say that, and that, like, you know, I know that kids don't hold you back.
I know,
but you know, you always have that worry. Oh, I've got to get home because my little boy's gonna, you know, I'm gonna miss his first step, or I'm gonna miss that birthday party, or, you know, all those sort of things. I don't have that anymore. So it's the next book.
Yep.
I've put one, you know, part A on the shelf.
Gotcha.
And now going into part B, and that is a brilliant, wonderful, exciting feeling. I hope that people see that. I hope that people, you know, like I said, you know, people are really enjoying this EP, and they dig the sound. So, you know, my relationship, like I said, with guitar and just playing, that's all I want to do is play, you know, like that was another thing actually that was behind this record, is that I just want to play.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm just going to be me, so that people who, regardless of whether I do a gig solo or with a full band, it's still going to be me.
Yeah.
It's still going to be as close to me as possible, and they'll just dig it. So it's gonna. I'm hoping to do a solo run.
Yep.
And then a band run.
Yep.
But I just got to know. I got to figure out how that's going to work, because it is nerve-wracking. It is, you know, I think the challenge that comes with touring this country is the size.
Yeah.
The size of the country, and we're certainly not Europe, and we have a lot less people.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I just want to, I'm going to do the best I can. That's all I can say, is that I can just do the best I can to get the music out there and get it played on radio, so that I can do a show in another town, and, you know, because the money doesn't come out of thin air.
Yeah.
You know, you need the people at the gig to pay your band.
That's right. Yeah.
And or to pay me, or to pay for the petrol, or to pay for, you know, it's all relative to doing what you want to do. So I'm just doing everything I can to fall in line with that vision, and the best I can. Awesome. You know, I can't ask myself to do anything. What do I want to say? I can't ask myself to do any less than that. You know, like, can only be me.
That's it. You can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's an exciting thing. I'm pretty. I'm keen.
Yeah.
I'm keen to get out there. I want to play in Byron and Brizzy. I'm really keen to get to Brizzy. Everyone's been talking about Brizzy and sussing that out. But I also have, like, quite a lot of fans here in Sydney who actually have been saying, you know, you invite them to the show and they're, oh, so sorry, I can't make it to the show. And I'm like, okay, better put another one on there that night. And then I'm like, you know, so just trying to think about, you know, keeping that flow happening. And I feel I have a really good time in my music, and I think the thing about songwriting is to sort of, you know, be able to write songs that make it good for people to play, make it fun for people to play.
Yep.
You know, so that you can keep it interesting, and they get a chance to fly.
Yep.
I want my bass player to fly. I want my keyboard player to fly. I want, you know what I mean? So
That's awesome.
it's about writing. It's not just all about me, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It's, you know, I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I love people. I love the people I play with. I love my fans. I love anybody who's in that fucking room or around me. I have a love and appreciation for human beings, and I always endeavour to show that and to bring that spark, that magic, that art to stimulate people to feel themselves, to feel the depths of their humanity through music. And it's interesting, like, you know, someone said there's been a shitty month, you know, there's shitty things happening where people dying and people with cancer or someone, you know, and I actually have a fan of mine who she loves music, she's really great, but geez, she's had a shit run with her partner going to jail and having to sell a house, and you just all these crazy things, you know, where and then I have a student who is quite young, and her the mother just lost her dad, but then her partner is losing his mum. So it's like they're going through a thing, right? And I didn't know this, and I was like, oh, you're going to come to the launch editor, and she's like, oh, we've got this going on. And I was like, sounds like you just need a little bit of music in your life anyway. Like people don't use music like tools. They get in the car and they put the radio on, and that's it, you know. Whereas you know, a lot of people who I know, you know, I mean, I'm surrounded by artistic people, but, you know, I will put an album on to cry.
Okay.
I will put an album on to dance. I'll put a particular album on to laugh. You know, there's like my son's favorite band is Tenacious D, and you know the laughter that goes on, that they know every single word, they know every little nuance, and it's so great. There's always so much laughter, you know, and that's what I get to see all the time, and I get to feel that, and I think that people, you know, being the choir master of Welcome Choir has taught me that as well. Is that I see hundreds of people every month who come in wanting to connect to music. They want to connect to their song, to their voice. You know, and I always say that to them. It's like, you know, and they're shit scared. They walk in that room and they're straight for the bar. They're like, you know, get that beer, whiskey, whatever they're going to have, you know, to calm their nerves down, because they think, oh, fuck, what am I doing here? Oh my God, there's no way I can do this. Or, you know, I might teach a part and then I see their faces just become like walls of fear. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, just, there's so much to learn. There is so much to learn, and I'm talking about them. You know, obviously, I'm always putting myself in the learning space, because I'm a teacher. I'm always teaching, so I must always learn. It's just where I have to be. And at Welcome Choir, I talk about the powers of music, and I also give people, I remind them of the fact, I believe, and I'm just sitting here, I've just been looking at, we've got this Aboriginal print here in front of me, and I'm looking at it, and it makes me think about this, what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. Music is in our DNA. Mm-hmm. It is in every single human being. We know music. Mm-hmm. We know rhythm. We know pentatonic scales. We know how to sing, because our mothers and our fathers sang to us the second we were created. Mm. They themselves were singing songs, the minute, when my son was born, my daughter actually was born, and Amazing Grace was singing by Mahalia Jackson. Mm-hmm. So I named Grace Mahalia, is her middle name. Mm-hmm. And the Amazing Grace. Mm. So I called her Grace Mahalia. Like, it just made sense, Awesome. Yeah. And that soul music, spirit music was playing when she was born. Mm. And it's just in us. It's in us. And when you just go, oh, right, okay. So I don't actually need to worry. I don't need to go, oh, I can't sing. Because half the people who come into Welcome Choir say, I don't know why I'm here, I can't sing. Yeah. Yet they're there for a fucking choir. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just fucking change.
I think I said, when I came to singing lessons with you, I think I said that. I come to singing lessons, I can't sing, but I can sing a little bit, or otherwise I wouldn't have come here, eh?
Yeah.
That's funny, yeah.
It is. It's a language that gets, we put on ourselves.
Protect ourselves, I guess.
Yeah. Because, for whatever reason, someone told you to shut up, or someone said, no, you're not good, or you didn't like the way your voice sounded, right? But we it's just around us all the time, and in even mundane things. I like to imitate sounds. I like to imitate birds. I like animals. Fucking trains. I love trains. I love trains. I love the rhythm of trains. I don't know, this is a thing. But there's just music everywhere. Yep. Absolutely everywhere. It's just a matter of turning to it and being disciplined, Doesn't mean that you're good all the time. Like, I'm just saying, like, as a people who come into I don't know, I'm always asking the question, what makes a good musician? That's right. You're turning your mouth.
Yeah.
Because what makes a good musician, Like, the little kid, like, you see these little videos lately, and this is just a question, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. Yeah. But there's these little videos of a little 4-year-old.
The little drummer and the little
4-year-old drummer.
Yeah. Okay?
Chop City.
Yeah, Chop City, yeah.
But is that a good musician because he's just Chop City? Because he can play a sick beat? Yeah. Is he doing that? I don't know. I'm just like throwing that out there because that all kids are into mimicking. They like to explore music. Oh, if I go dung, 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 and everyone goes, yeah, that's in time. They go, oh, okay, dung, dung, right, dung, oh, yeah, yeah, everyone's reacting, great, yeah. And they're still, dung, dung, and they're still going on that fucking drum, right? But then, the other kid next to it's more talented because it's going dum dum dum, So my kid's more talented than your kid. I don't know. That's the shit that stops a kid from singing or playing or following a path.
Yeah.
You know, you know, of course there are generations where, you know, particularly I think we're coming out of that generation where they, you know, the parents would say, oh, you can't be a musician, you'll never get anywhere. You know, like, I think that was last generation.
Yeah.
But then there's a whole lot of shit I don't know, man. I'm a musician's kid.
Mm-hmm.
So all I know is music.
Yep.
And that's the life that I love. And childbirth. I'm really passionate about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm passionate about that because it's deep.
Yep.
It's deep in the valley.
That's cool.
And I believe in the power of women. In fact, that's what I Know You're Ready is all about. And that's why it's for all the ladies.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I wrote it after a birth that I was at, and it just kind of flowed. Michael, my partner, helped me a little bit with the lyrics. I just got stuck on a couple of lines there, and I said to him, help me. What do you love about women?
Yeah.
Is what I said.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ask them the question.
Well, he's around a lot of women.
Yep.
We have a lot of dancers and burlesque performers in our life. So, you know, burlesque is an interesting realm. Mm-hmm. And, so he's around really incredible women and some men, but mostly women, who perform with the flesh, you know, it's flesh orientated industry. Mm-hmm. So it's very empowering for the person who's doing it and the person who's watching it. Yep. You know, because there are, you know, every woman is beautiful. Every man is beautiful. Every human being is beautiful. Every animal is beautiful. Yeah. You know, I'm a vegan as well. Cool. Because I believe in a peaceful existence.
Awesome.
You know, believe in caring and loving and being cool.
Fantastic. Well, Bek, this has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
cool.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I
wish
really appreciate you asking me to come and have a
sweet
chat.
as. No, all good. And I wish you all the best with your music and
man. I hope
path
that,
and journey, and I'm following along.
Yay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
get the EP back on
already
radio in the car when I head out. So
I think I'm gonna push a couple of tracks on Triple J Unearthed and see if I can get some happening there. But you know, getting it out there as best I can, and
that's what you can do.
Thank you so much for just giving me the opportunity to have a chat. And
sweet as.
Talk about
Too
my
easy.
life.
Yeah, and I'll link any links that you've got to your music. I'll put it in the show notes of the podcast. And
awesome.
What's the date today?
I don't even know. 17th, 16th?
Okay.
16th, I think it is.
By the time this comes out, you may have already done your show.
Yeah.
So.
You said November or something, didn't you?
Oh, no, it should be end of this month. Oh.
Okay.
By the end of this month or early November.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's just say it came out. Oh, great show! Your show was awesome, Bek. Yeah, woo! Man, you smashed it, man. It was awesome. Yeah. Nah, sweet.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing show. And there is a show that I'll be doing on the 16th of November.
Okay.
At Market Street in Crow's Nest.
Yep.
I hope I got that right. Market Street, I think it's called.
Yeah.
In Crow's Nest, and it's a really beautiful venue, amazing people. I'm going to have my band.
Awesome.
So that's going to kind of be another sort of mini launch I'll be inviting people to. So
Awesome.
please come along.
Yeah.
I think you can get dinner and show as well if you want.
Yep.
Market at Market Street it's called.
Sweet as.
And in Crow's Nest. And what else? Oh, there's look, I've already started writing the next EP.
Great.
Yep, I want to do another one as soon as I can.
That's good.
So
Keep the ball rolling.
yeah, really enjoy it, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, I just hope I can keep writing good songs.
Well, make the most of this.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. Awesome, Beck. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
All right, sweet
Thank
as.
you so much.
All right, cheers.